Natasha, and if you are watching this, you are most likely a Aquarius rising, or you know someone who is an Aquarius rising and trying to get more insight and information about that person or yourself. So what a rising sign or ascendant sign basically is it's ruling your first house of self. Normally Aries rules this house, so it dictates who you are, what your personality is, your physical body type, and just kind of who you are, your self-expression, which is actually Leo, but it's just basically your identity. You can also perceive this as this is what you naturally went to in order to survive in your childhood upbringing. It is just naturally the mask that you put on when you are interacting one-on-one with someone else who doesn't actually know who you are yet, or what is your first impression towards others, or how they perceive you as. So if you are in Aquarius rising, you come off to people as very humanitarian. You want to help everyone. You want everyone to be successful and, you know, like help heal and raise the world. You may find that you want to be friends with a variety of people, or very friendly, because Aquarius rules friendships and networking and technology. But it's generally more of this humanitarian quality. You're here to help in some sort of way. You're into humanitarian efforts, whether that's like picking up trash as a volunteer thing, feeding the poor, fostering a kid, or fostering pets, you know, anything to do with that, or helping humanitarian causes, healthcare, you know, law and order, whatever it is. You tend to give that aura, you know, to people, and that is a part of who you are. Aquarius is naturally ruled by two planets, Saturn and Uranus. So you do have this rebellious side to you. And you have to think of all the other planets that are going on in your chart, but you can take on this rebellious quality. I found that some Aquarius rising people, they get like piercings in like their belly button or nipples, or, you know, other areas, because they're just different and rebellious in some sort of way, or they like to dress in a rebellious way, however you want to describe that. It's just kind of a little bit rebellious. They don't want to conform to the rules and regulations. They don't really want to be told what they need to do. They want to still have their own personal identity within the group. You know, they don't want to be like a little robot or the same as everybody else. They want to be different and unique, or keep that authenticity of who they are, uniquely who they are, whether people like it or not, or it's just weird. Aquarian energy in general is kind of weird or odd. So you might be an oddball, or you do things kind of different or not traditional like everybody else. There's something about you that's just different, rebellious, you know, and it can still be socially acceptable, or you can be pretty extreme. So that's an individual thing for you. Woo, I've been talking quite a lot today. So, so that I like to tap into the personal houses in these rising sign videos. So most likely, if you do not have any duplications or interceptions in your chart, which would mean that if you do not, you have one zodiac sign ruling each house of your natal chart. So there's one sign ruling one house, instead of sometimes people have one zodiac sign ruling two, sometimes three houses in their natal chart, which would mean 2 or 3 houses are intercepted or swallowed up by like one zodiac sign. So their personality and rulership kind of is a little bit different than what like a equal house sign may be. So most likely, if you are an Aquarius rising, your 4th house would be ruled by Taurus. So you like your home and family department of your life to be very pleasurable. So you love all pleasure stuff in the bedroom, or you also like financial security, emotional security, everything that looks good, feels good, tastes good. So it's very pleasurable, feeling like you're on cloud 9. You feel safe and secure. You have nice things. It's this material, financial zodiac sign in your house of childhood upbringing, family, and home. Like your literal house can have this aura, or it's rich, whatever your definition of that is. Or if it's not, then maybe you wish that it would be like that. Or you know, your home is filled with cooking, because Taurus loves food, or things that taste really good. So there may be a focus on food, or you may find that there's a focus on pleasure in some way, or you know, you have to be in a soft cashmere or whatever robe all the time, and you're into your spa stuff. Whenever you get home, you want your nice fuzzy slippers, you want a nice glass of wine every night, and a really you know, fine cuisine at home. You know, that's just kind of like the essence of Taurus, you know. And it's also ruled by Venus, so it's just like things that are nice, pleasant, brings financial blessings, brings beauty. It looks aesthetically pleasing, like your house or home. You just want to feel also financially stable, however that plays out for you. Growing up, it may have been the opposite. Like there may have been a lot of talk about finances. There may have been a lot of struggles with your parents about finances, worry and talk about your financial stability and your sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Like maybe you couldn't afford, your parents couldn't afford new shoes and clothes and stuff for you for each grade year. You had to still wear the shoes from before, which isn't necessarily bad as long as you have shoes. But it may have affected you, or you felt like, oh, you're not like the other kids. The other kids, they all get brand new shoes and stuff each year in school, and we're just not as financially stable. And so when you grow up, you may find that this is a big importance to you because you did not have that when you were growing up. Or it could have been the opposite. Maybe you had a lot of things growing up, and now you find that these materialistic things are no longer of importance to you, and true self-worth and value comes from within, and what skill sets and things that you bring to the table, not necessarily the material things that you can buy from whatever financial wealth that you have. So it depends on you and how your individual life kind of played out. But it is this aura of things need to look good, be pleasant. You need to find pleasure at home, and it needs to feel just stable in some way, financially, emotionally. Okay. Your 7th house is most likely ruled by Leo. So you may find that you click with or are attracted to people who have a really big heart, or lead by the heart, or are very talented and skilled in whatever they do, or you find that you're attracted to people who are just natural leaders and people just follow them, people just listen to them, or they're always happy. Leo is naturally the brightest sign. We all naturally kind of identify with our sun sign, not necessarily our rising or moon sign. So they are the sun, and everyone has a tendency to just follow them, whether they do it in a healthy way or if they do it in an unhealthy way, like they're a dictator or they're too egotistical or like a narcissist or anything. Grandiose and bold, that's the negative side that it can take on, or covert narcissist, which you have to have discernment and make sure you get out earlier than you're sucked into it, just so you know. But Leo is super happy. It represents children, play, wants to be playful, have fun, do everything that's lighthearted, do fun little superficial stuff, be creative, have fun, be playful, play imagination, do team building, icebreakers, weird little board games that don't really mean anything. It's just fun play. That's kind of, you gravitate towards people who are like that, or maybe you gravitate towards people who are entertaining in some way, shape, or form. They always provide some kind of entertainment, or they themselves, their personality, are entertaining to you. So that is perspective as well. What is entertaining to one person may not be entertaining to another, but to you, you find these people entertaining, and at the same time, your seventh house of other people see you as this Leo archetype. So other people see you as entertaining, bright, happy, leader, a natural leader, someone who has a big heart, who's always positive and shining, even if that feels kind of far away from yourself. As an Aquarius, you may feel kind of isolated, or kind of like the outcast, or the wolf, the lone wolf, but you are creative at the same time. You're just different, but you're kind of not really accepted by everyone, or that's maybe how you feel, or that's just what you naturally kind of did in order to rebel and be seen. So you're attracted to people who are seen, because you may feel like you're not as seen, or you're kind of rebellious, you're creative. And Leo is also creative. So there's kind of play with both of them. You can also see it as like, Leo energy is the creative of what is acceptable. So, like one of those painting classes where everyone paints the same painting and they call it art, because it is art, and each individual actually painted something. They did something creative. They did something that is art, but they basically copied off of some other artist's painting, and they all did someone else's imitation of art, like a copycat kind of art. You can see Aquarius is like the Picasso in the time of realism. Realism was the accepted norm. That is what art is. And if you can't do that, then, oh my God, what is this weird Picasso thing? That's not art. But they're kind of breaking the norm, breaking boundaries, being rebellious, So there's this play with what feels foreign to you, your seventh house of other, or what you're naturally you're attracted to. You're like, how do they do this? How do they get that? Or how are they so freaking happy? Why are they happy? Or, how can they be a leader and everyone follows them, and like, I'm still a leader, I'm an Aquarius, and I have these bright futuristic ideas and stuff that can solve the world's problems, but everyone just rejects me because they're like, no, there's no way that that works. It doesn't work, you know. So you're kind of out, you feel like maybe outcasted in some way, you know. So that's the play with these two opposites, Aquarius, and you're fixed, you know. You're a fixed air sign. You're very intelligent. Communication is important to you, or you might have fixed ways of communicating, or you dissociate and shut off or separate your emotions to how you communicate, or you may come off as not emotional or nurturing, caring. There's like a miss, even though you are caring and nurturing. There's an off switch with this emotional thing. Like, you can't get your emotions in the way in order to pursue your passions, you know. Like, if you're going to solve cancer, you know, it's probably solved already. But if you're going to solve cancer, it's going to help a ton of people, and you need to find solutions, think unconventionally because it's not solved. So you have to think differently in order to, you know, find a solution for it. You have to be, you can't get your like emotions, your whatever your problems that are going on in the way of what your work and passions are, you know. So there's an off switch there with Aquarius. Or think of, you know, Aquarius is like the wavy parallel lines. It kind of looks like water waves, but it's actually air waves, you know. But they don't actually connect, you know. They don't enmesh, merge like water. It's just floating. You can't actually grasp. So a lot of the air signs, they're kind of aloof or feel like spacey, like, oh, I didn't realize that's how you felt, you know. Like, it doesn't click as much, even though you have emotion and you do understand it, but there's sometimes a miss in that, whether you realize that or not. I've seen it. So I can vouch for at least some people that I've kind of witnessed this kind of miss in that department, you know. Let's move on. So your fourth house is a Taurus. So the opposite of your fourth house is your career house. And for you, most likely, if you're Aquarius rising, your 10th house is in Scorpio. So 10th house is basically our public view of the person, or what you do for work, or how it's your public image, or how people see you. So Scorpio here, it's a fixed water sign, and it's like a deep psychology sign, as well as big changes and transformations, things that are hidden and unseen. So you might be someone who actually does psychology, counseling, therapy to some degree, or you're a detective, or you are part of the Secret Service, CIA, or the secret departments of the military, or politics. You know, you have knowledge of a lot of secrets in some way, whether that is for, you know, secrets of other people, or secrets about whatever is going on, and you're not allowed to speak of it due to confidentiality. So that is Scorpio energy. You may find that your career goes through big major changes and transformations, or the way that you are seen in the public goes through major changes and transformations that feel like you died, or it's no longer serving you, and you have to start anew and rise up from the phoenix better. So you go through these waves in your career house, okay? However that is playing out for you. For the other areas in your chart, like your second house, your house of personal finances, self-worth and self-esteem is most likely ruled by Pisces. So the way you move about your kind of sense of your material things, or how you feel like you value yourself, like Taurus is like value, and but like, what is your actual value? Some people value their material things, and some people value the inner things, you know, within them. What can you do? What have you overcome? So yours is in Pisces, so you value like spirituality. You may also find that because the financial house, you make money off of people's addictions. So Pisces is one of the addiction houses. Leo is also an addiction house, you know, so you make money off of people's lack of boundaries. Pisces has no boundaries. It dissolves boundaries, or, you know, and that's how they get into addictions. There's no strict boundaries, whether that's eating disorders, gambling, drug addiction, sex addiction, whatever the addiction is, you know, and if it's actually affecting someone's life in a really negative way. We can have addictions that are socially acceptable too. But that is just the energy of the department of your second house. Or you go with the flow. Your sense of self-worth kind of goes through this like emotional, spiritual state where you just have to kind of move with wherever it takes you. Or your finances, you have to just follow this kind of spiritual kind of pull. Wherever you're pulled to, that is where your money is going to grow for you. Your third house is most likely ruled by Aries. So third houses are siblings, our cousins, close community, family, as well as our close community, literally, like the peers that you grew up with, or your neighborhood, your school, your local gym, those little groups that you kind of see on a regular basis, and they're close to you, they're not far away. It's also our learning, reading, writing, speaking, communicating, or your communication style. So you may find that the way you learn or the way you communicate is kind of like an Aries. So Aries is like the boss, and you can communicate potentially, doesn't have to be all the time, as very direct, assertive, brutal, blunt, quick. You may learn this way, like you need the cliff notes, or you need things to be in short increments, not like dragged out and long, otherwise you won't be able to focus and pay attention. You need like hurry up and get to the point. Or I know what I want and I know what I don't want, or like just tell me what to read and I'll do it, you know. Or just like, it's anything that's really blunt and quick in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's the way you're speaking, the way that you write is really quick, the way that you learn, or the way that you interact and communicate. It's kind of, there's this quickness archetype to it, or this kind of boss-like archetype to it, because you are in Aquarius rising. You have that Leo in your 7th house, so you are like a boss, or you attract people, you know, who have this kind of entrepreneurial quality to them, because, you know, you also give that entrepreneurial boss-like energy to the people in your community. It works kind of both ways in a way, to kind of help you realize something about yourself or find these traits within yourself. Your third house, like whenever you travel, you may find that you need action all the time, or you need physical activity. Aries is a physical activity sign. So if you're doing short distance travel or traveling in general, you need to do physical activity in order, I don't know, that's just what you're interested in. That's just an Aries thing. You need to work out when you do go on short distance travel, or you just need that physical activity. Your fifth house is most likely ruled by Gemini, so your dating style, because fifth house is children, self-expression, and casual dating, casual fun, casual sex, casual everything, casual drinking. When you're on dates, for example, or doing anything that is fun and play, like lighthearted, you want to communicate. You're curious about other people, or you are curious about the person that you're talking to or interacting with. You need conversation. You are a mutable air sign in the department of fun and dating. So there needs to be something that you're learning. You need to learn whenever you're doing these kind of casual fun things. When you express yourself, you may be talking, gossiping, teaching, to how something to dealing with how you are expressing yourself. You're teaching whatever you know, or you want to learn about other people in this department, okay? And so take it as you will for you. Your sixth house, or your day-to-day routine, your health, your pets, you come off as a very Cancer-like person, or this is your approach to your day-to-day routine. And normally sixth house is ruled by Virgo, which is detail-oriented, and it's healthcare. So you nurture health. You know, health is important to you, or your home and family, the people who are in your family, their health is important to you, and you're trying to nurture, care about the importance of health, routine, physical exercise, going to the doctor, making sure you brush your teeth, or your mental health, all these things. Your home and family in your day-to-day life is important to you, or you're always thinking about home and family on a day-to-day basis, or your pets. You know, you want to nurture and care for your family, you know, and it's just water sign, so you can go through mood swings on a day-to-day basis, you know, or you can be very passionate and bold and brave one day and very depressed and moody the next, you know. So that's kind of the energy of your sixth house. And you're kind of, you go with the flow a little bit. You're a cardinal, action-oriented water sign in the department of Virgo, basically, okay? Your eighth house is most likely ruled by Virgo, unless you have a duplication or interception somewhere. So your department of joint resources, inheritances, joint finances, if you are married with someone else, your in-laws has somehow this Virgo quality to it. It's also the house of sex, death, rebirth, taxes. So you're very detail oriented and nitpicky when it comes to your joint finances, or the things that you own together. If you own multiple properties, you're very detail oriented with your partner's finances. Did they do it right? Did they read the dotted line? You know, did they actually go through it? You're gonna be very detail oriented and fixated, perfectionist like, when it comes to your joint resources or your partner's money. You're the boss. You're like the little CEO or CPA in that department for your partner. Did they do it right? You know, you can be very critical with it. Like, why did you do that? Why did you spend that money? Why didn't you let it go on and on and on? You know, or like, why didn't you look? You know, you need to look at these things. You know, you can be very critical and perfectionistic in that department with your spouse, or just in general with that department. And it's just because you care at the root of it. It's like, why did you let the subscription keep going on if you never use the subscription? Just cancel the subscription, you know, and you may get on your partner about that. When it can come off as like you're a lecturing parent, you know, or you're being their mom or dad and putting them down by trying to help them, you know, be better with their finances, you know, or making sure they do it right. You can also be very nitpicky and critical about sexual endeavors. You know, did you do it right? You didn't do it like this. You needed to be more like that. Or let's try this, let's try that, you know, or you need to be super clean. You need to make sure we clean all the toys. So it's just that Virgo quality being put into this 8th house, or being very analytical and detail oriented about your partner's psychology or how they were brought up, like really dissecting everything, and like how did they become the person that they are today by analyzing all of these things, or being nitpicky and critical about your in-laws in some way. You know, that's just the Virgo trait. Like, they should be like this, or they need to try doing like this, you know, because you're trying to help, but it can also come off as very critical. So just be aware if that applies to you, as sometimes it can be too much, you know, or if you're putting someone down too much, then, you know, you can stunt someone's growth, or, you know, they feel like they have no voice. They can't win with you because you have this fixated 1st house and 7th house energy going on, where it's like, it's just very fixed. It's not this kind of mutable energy with your actual personality, you know, so just be aware of that. Your 9th house is most likely ruled by Libra. So when it comes to philosophy or higher education, or the structural system of school systems and religions, you have this harmonious, fair and balanced approach. Or you can see 2 sides of a coin, or like, oh yeah, I can see why that person may believe in this is the right way for them, and that's okay. If that's the right way for them and it's mutual, or they're not hurting anyone or whatever, then even though I don't believe in that, then you're respectful of that. You can compromise with how someone else's belief system is, it works for them, or it works for their country or culture. You know, you have this kind of pleasant, harmonious approach or belief system in these big foreign international people, international culture, and how they did things the way they did, and that's just amazing. And it worked for them, and that's great, you know, like harmonious, more passive. You're not going to argue what someone else believes is the truth. You know, you're gonna kind of be accepting towards that. You're not gonna say like, no, you better believe in my religion because my religion is the only way and it's the right way, and if you don't, then you're doomed. You know, you don't have that kind of approach in that department. You know, you can see kind of both sides. Or just like general belief system, like philosophy of day-to-day life. Your 11th house is most likely ruled by Sagittarius, so you may find that you attract a lot of friends and networks in foreign places, or they are somehow foreign to you. They've lived a very, very different life from you, or they're literally from a different country. They have a different religion. They speak different languages. They have a very foreign way of approaching life or doing life. You know, you attract friends who are this Sagittarius energy, or a lot of friends who are teachers, PhDs, doctors, philosophers, university teachers, lecturers. You know, you kind of gravitate towards friends or these type of people who have grand philosophical belief systems kind of gravitate towards you as friends, or they're very religious, because Sagittarius usually is just religion also, or they're writers, they publish books, publish textbooks. You may find that you have a lot of friends who have this kind of quality in them. And they may see this in you, like you're very well traveled. Your friends may see that you're very knowledgeable in a wide variety of things. Like you're well traveled, you've seen a lot of different people and seen a lot of different experiences in other people's lives or your own life, and so you have a lot of grand knowledge, you know. So that concludes my interpretation of Aquarius rising. Remember your chart rulers for you have 2 is Saturn and Uranus, so see where those fall in your chart, the zodiac sign as well as the house, to give you more clues as to where that is pulling you, your personality, and how you're kind of developing what your own interests are, you know. And if you're interested in getting a personal birth chart reading, you can go to the description box below, copy and paste it, or it's called www.natashascreativewellness.com. You can schedule a birth chart reading in there. Click the earliest time, as it's a pre-recorded reading. You just need your date of birth, time of birth, and location of birth. And if you're interested in any merchandise, I sell journals from like my old paintings. If you like to write your thoughts out or journal in like whatever self-improvement, or write down your workouts. This is me when in 2015, figure bodybuilding. Check out my other YouTube channel, Natasha Greenwood, or fit_Tasha Flex, if you're into that part of wellness. I'm separating these two. So astrology is a great tool to become more self-aware, have a deeper sense of healing if just like other things are just not quite doing it for you, and you're like, why is life putting its suck onto me, you know. Especially you are Aquarius rising, and we just entered Pluto in Aquarius, so you are going to go through 20 years of major change and transformation. Nothing to really be scared of, but it is uncomfortable, and it is going to bring up, because Pluto is like Scorpio energy, it's deep psychology, things that are hidden and not very visible and known, and it's kind of bringing those things up to the surface for you to be more aware of. And astrology can be a tool of becoming more aware or self-aware, so you can now kind of take that and apply it to how you interact into the world, or how you interact with other people, and how you treat yourself, or how you see yourself in a different way that you didn't see before. So that will be squaring it's going to be transiting yourself, or your first house, and it's going to be squaring your home and family, your personal one-on-one relationships, and squaring your career house. And squares are kind of uncomfortable, so you'll be strong. You know, this will, at the end of it, you will be a new person or a better person. I just went through, because I'm a sun in Capricorn, and that was in my 4th house, and I have planets in my 7th house. And so, you know, like it squared a lot, and it was a hard time, and I became more resilient during that transit of 15 years. And you know, like, that's one of the reasons why, you know, this fitness was one thing that I did for myself and for nobody else, because I didn't have control. So, you know, these little tools can kind of help move through the process. But at least Aquarius energy is faster than Capricorn, because you have that Uranus planet in there, which is very quick, like lightning. So things can kind of come to you like a bolt of lightning, like a aha light bulb moment. And so hopefully it's faster for you. So please check out my website. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this with someone that you may find will help. This will help them. Or check out my playlist down below, as everything is organized, and you can send them their rising sign if you find that this may help them. Or if you have kids and they don't listen to you, which is usually a parent problem, over time they may listen to someone else a little bit more than you, or hear that interpretation a little bit easier. So yeah, so catch you later. Hopefully, please check out my other YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.